How's it going, guys? Welcome back to TheBlueShifting and welcome back to Riddle Joker. Last time we were here, we've had a very successful festival so far. We've got all things set up with our like frozen, not frozen, liquid like furniture. Cafe's going great, but risks are getting higher. With it being so busy, there's a lot going on. We're not quite confident we're going to be able to spy when our targets enter this zone, specifically the people who are trying to target Ayase. Now, we've kind of figured out that we're attempting to use this chance that we know they're likely to strike as a honey trap to try and actually catch them, so we can figure out what's actually going on, why they're doing what they're doing. But that's still nerve-wracking because we don't want it to mess with Ayase. But even so, like, we also don't want that to mess with the festival. Like, we're having a lot of fun. We want our friends to feel successful and supported. And so having that just kind of fall apart would be really hurtful. So we're pretty on edge here. But turns out our dad's here to kind of help us out. So he's here and he says he's got agents around the perimeter, which I was thinking is a good idea because, like, when the trap is sprung, you want to be able to converge on the people who have, like, you know, maybe tried to take Ayase. You don't necessarily want to have them all here because if somehow they get out of, like, our control in the cafe area, we could lose them. So we'll have to see how this all plays out, but the trap is set. Let's see if anything happens. Whew, let's get started. The 2 coffees are ready.
こっちもパンケーキできてます。はーい、すぐに行くよ。
Our cafe is wildly popular. The people kept pouring in as time went on, and eventually, much to our surprise, a line, albeit a short one, began to form at the entrance. Those industry spies that Dad mentioned, of course, were among those in there. I thus have to stay alert at all times. But I'm far from the only one being kept busy. No one on our team has been able to take a proper break yet, owing to the constant influx of people. Once afternoon rolls around, though, the crowd starts to thin out and the tables become empty. Oh, thank goodness.
ようやく一息つけそうだね。
I know, right? You could say that again.
まさかこんなにお客さんが来てくれるとは本当に驚いた。そうですか？私は人が集まると思ってましたよ。だからななみちゃんにも余裕のある発注をした方がいいって言いましたしね。
That was thoughtful.
そういえばあれだけのお客さんなのに材料がつきそうという悲鳴はなかったな。いい判断だったね、千咲ちゃん。
The number of customers demanding my attention has dramatically gone down since noon. Nobody who might be after Mitsukaze-san in the cafe right now. I'm assuming those industry spies have already looked at everything they need to. The end of the fair is approaching, and our cafe has been a smashing success. Everything went great from start to finish. The end of rush time here also means the same for the fair in general. There are fewer people everywhere.
お疲れ様。
Well, maybe nothing bad will happen, right? Like, there's no chance that, like, things are going to suddenly take a bad, dramatic turn.
お疲れ様です。ようやく落ち着いた。ここまで忙しくなるとは、これぞ嬉しい悲鳴。
Yeah, we were just talking about that.
まさか休む暇もないなんてね。はあ、お腹すいたよ。
Yeah, maybe Nanami will make us all some brunch or dinner.
僕もです。ああ、お腹空きすぎてぶっ倒れそう。そういえばそうだった。忙しすぎてそれすら忘れていた。緊張の糸が切れると一気に疲れが押し寄せてくる。慣れないことするとどうにも肩が凝って。
I wonder why.
その肩こりは手のせいじゃないですかね。胸が大きいと本当に肩が凝るものなんですか、式部先輩。真面目な顔でセクハラされても困るんだけど。なんだか男が言いづらい話題になってきたな。とりあえずローテーションを組んで休憩を取ろうか。
The second Kyohei mentions this suggestion, the voice plays through the loudspeakers.
2年 A 組三笠さん、職員室まで来てください。2年 A 組三笠さん、職員室まで来てください。
I don't like how they're just announcing that. That's not great.
あれ、呼び出したね。発表祭の最中にわざわざ呼び出しとは一体何だろう。閉幕の時に一曲歌う件かな。いえ、実は発表祭の取材が1件入っているので、そのインタビューに呼ばれているんです。そうだったの？時間に余裕ができてからで問題ないという話だったんですけど。
I guess they just got tired of waiting. Not really surprised, but yeah, this is bad for me.
取材にしろ別の要件にしろ、ちゃんと言って確認をした方がいい。ちょうど休憩の話もしてたことだしね。お店のことならお任せあれ。心配はいらないよ。ですけど。
Yeah, I still have yet to hear anything back from Dad, but I can't exactly put my foot down, demand she not go. That'd be too weird. And even if she stayed here, I imagine Kakimoto-sensei would eventually just come here and get her herself. If that happens, we'd lose the ability to strike first. If we make our move now, on the other hand, we should still be able to make it work. Could you come help me restock our soft drink supply before you go, Mitsukaze-san?
わかりました。じゃあ補充が終わったらそのまま職員室に向かってくれていいよ。はい、ありがとうございます。
Can I go ahead and get on my break once I'm done too? I need to go to the bathroom.
いいんじゃないかな。私も構わないと思う。だが、外を出歩くときは着替えた方がいい。いくら発表祭とはいえ、水着でうろつくのはさすがに風紀的にもよろしくない。
Right, right.
分かってます。ちゃんと上から制服を着ますよ。水着でうろちょろするのは私も恥ずかしいですからね。
Alright, let's go get the drinks done.
さっきの放送は聞いた。
Right, I know it says it strays from the original mission plan, but I'm asking for permission to commence the operation now. If we don't act, all the planning we did will go for naught.
わかった。だが、一網打尽にするためにも、タイミングはこちらに任せてくれ。もし相手が罠にかかっても、お前は無理に動くな。俺たちを信用してほしい。
That's gonna be hard. Copy that. So yeah, I want you to hide in here just like we discussed beforehand.
それは分かったけど、有原くんが身代わりになるなんて本当に可能なの？
Interesting. Yep, we got all the necessary pieces for it to work. I take out a card from my pocket. This card, as you might guess, has memory fiber infused with Sugo Hidero's Astrons printed on it. This here basically allows me to visually deceive anyone around me. I should have no trouble getting them to believe I'm you. Alright, I'm gonna leave now, so that means you'll be left on your own, but don't panic, just stay calm if anything happens. Keep this communicator on you. You should be able to get in contact with my boss through it.
分かった。
Alright, I'm commencing the operation.
了解した。
On my countdown. 5, 4, wait. So, H-Ni-San-Ji. So, go. It's go, Ji, San, Ni, each. Let's go. On my mark, I link with the Astrons. However, I don't use my own ability. Instead, I focus mentally on the card and activate the ability stored within the memory fiber material, Sugo Hidao's ability. Are we gonna look like how she looks? Or are we gonna look like how she actually looks? Because that could be interesting. Hello, I'm here as requested.
三笠さんではなく有原くんですか。すみません。なぜだか一瞬有原くんと三笠さんを見間違えてしまって、変ですね。
Guess the effect wore off once she heard my voice.
それでどうしました？
Mitsukaze-san was called here from the intercom. I came here on her behalf. It's still pretty crowded at our cafe right now, so she wanted me to tell you that she wants to wait a little longer.
そうですか。わかりました。わざわざありがとうございます。
If you don't mind me asking, is this about the interview?
はい、柿本先生からまだ来ていないかと確認があったので、もう少し時間がかかること、私の方から柿本先生に伝えておきます。
Thank you. I take my time walking back to the pool after leaving the faculty room. So as long as I don't speak, I'll be able to masquerade as Mitsukaze-san. But just happened with the teacher is proof enough of that. It also means my area of effect reached all the way to the faculty room when I activated the ability at the pool. She was probably still there during that. Looks like my little trick is working just like I want it to. The school has a massive campus. And the fair visitors are allowed to enter most buildings aside from the research building. That includes the student dormitories. Nanami has an extraordinarily high link value, yet even she wouldn't be able to cover the entire campus if she activated the ability by herself. But that's a relatively simple solution. If one isn't enough, then we'll just use more. The SFD members, whom I've strategically positioned around the school, could all activate Hirato's ability at the same time. That would consequently allow us to deceive quite literally every person currently on the school campus. That deception, of course, being that Arihara Satoru has the appearance of Mitsukaze Ayase. Interesting, I like this idea. So, if it works, he gets kidnapped, which kind of is the best case scenario. Luckily for us, it turns out that Sugo Hirato's ability isn't one that's terribly hard to control, like Nanami's is, for instance. Also lucky is the fact that you don't need to physically be in the same location as the object or person you manipulate people's perception of. Using photos and the like instead works just fine. It should be safe for us to assume that I have the appearance of Mitsukaze-san to everyone right now. The teacher's initial reaction is solid proof that it's working. And hopefully the assailants are going to capitalize on this opportunity now that I'm walking the hallways all by myself. And like clockwork, two people appear in front of me, blocking my way. There's a tall man with a lean build and a large muscular guy. Their physique may be near opposites, but what they do have in common is that their bodies are very well trained. I can tell even from above the suits they have on.
Mitsukaze Ayase-san.
The slender guy in front addressed me politely. His tone may be soft, but his eyes have an icy cold glint. Here we go. As my body tenses up, I shout with glee in my mind. The bees fell for it. I was a bit worried since I had no real proof that they'd come here to attack, but now that they were here, I knew we were right. But this is still too early for celebrations. Instead, I conceal my relief in feigned bewilderment.
抵抗は無駄です。命を無駄に散らしたくもないでしょう。
So, just coming out and saying it, huh?
我々と一緒に来てくれますね。
I turn around hoping to flee, but there are two more men wearing similar suits blocking that side of the hallway. They've got me cornered. The SFD don't seem to be making any moves just yet. Accordingly, I obediently go with the men. This is what Dad instructed me to do.
化け物が相手だとは聞いていたが、拍子抜けだな。所詮は学生か。
Oh, interesting how they use the term mutant. Sounds like they might be against Astrals. Maybe they're like an anti-astral terrorist organization?
この発表祭とやらも文化祭の延長上のようなものだし。まあ、中には気持ち悪い出し物も混じってはいるようだが。
Yeah, there's some kind of philosophy behind this group of people. It's not just like an undercover like government organization. It seems more personal, maybe even a religious group.
というか、何か返事ぐらいしてくれないかな。俺たちは命を取るような真似するつもりはないよ。
おい、いい加減黙ったらどうだ。喋りすぎだ。
へいへい。
The slender guy shrugs his shoulders in response to the big guy's chiding.
命が欲しければさっさと歩け。いくらアストラル使いだろうと、引き金を引く方が早い。
He's right. Astral abilities don't make you a god. There are 4 enemies in total, 2 in front of me, 2 behind, and they're all carrying guns. Sure, I could try a surprise attack, but the risk is too great.
悪いけど、このまま一緒に来てもらうよ。
What's holding up Dad and the others? I don't even know where these guys are going to take me. Somewhere off campus, or what?
警備の方は
問題ない。それに、カメラはマンティスの支配下にある。
Ooh, that's interesting. So they've got somebody fully on the inside.
今もカメラでこちらを監視しつつ映像をごまかしているはずだ。証拠は残らないさ。
そうか。
There was nothing in the system when Nanami checked yesterday. Maybe there's a reason it took them so long to make a move. They were busy hacking into security earlier in the day. This isn't looking good.
妙だな。
何がだ。
この子、おとなしすぎやしないか。今のセキュリティの話を聞いても動揺しない。そもそも事情を尋ねてくることすらしない。まるでこうなることを分かっていたみたいじゃないか。
何？
それに、プールにいたあの少年はどうした？
Mm-hmm. So then, they even saw us there.
彼はずっと彼女を守るような動きを見せていた。なのに、今はどこにいる？なぜ彼女を一人にした？
考えすぎだ。所詮はガキだぞ。同年代の異性にいいところを見せようとはしゃいでいただけだろ。三笠綾瀬はここにいるんだ。このまま連れて行けばいい。
それはそうだが。
Things not adding up is precisely what breaks the misconception of this ability. And the guy's glaring at me now. Don't tell me he's noticed.
いや、そうだな。ここで時間を潰している暇はないな。
Okay, good. Looks like the effect is still working. I heave a sigh of relief inside my mind, but suddenly I hear a voice. I've sharpened my hearing through my ability, which allows me to pick up on the voice from the guy's radio earpiece. Handy.
こちらハーミット。大将の身柄を確保しました。移動中です。
The cameras! Cameras don't react. Oh, you can't fool cameras! The Slender Man raises an arm and speaks to the mic attached to the cuff on his suit.
事前の作戦通りに移動していますが、何か？
Fetch! Of course they'd have people off campus! My cover is definitely blown now, so I guess it's time to do this. No, I gotta trust Dad. He will come through. The bewildered look on their faces quickly vanished as they pull their handguns out with attached silencers from their suits.
身代わりなんていつの間に。
最初から俺たちはアストラルでごまかされてたわけか。
なんてことだ。このアストラル使いが。
That would be so frustrating. Like, you'd work so hard to do this whole big covert operation, right? Things were going almost too well. I guess, like, it even made them a little suspicious, but then it's just like, how would it feel to have that illusion suddenly just drop? It'd be like, oh gosh, it'd be like a punch to the gut.
動けば撃つ。能力を使っても撃つ。
There's no point in issuing me any warning. I'm not stupid enough to try anything with guns pointed at me. I'd be a dead man before I could even do jack crap with my ability. What's the holdup, Dad?
こんなガキ殺してしまえばいい。
死体を作ると面倒だ。
ならどうする。三笠綾瀬ではなくこんなガキを連れて行くのか。俺たちが殺されかねないぞ。どの道やるしかない。
Alright, so literally, like, they could die if they don't complete this mission. That's freaking hardcore.
このまま撤退してただで済むとは思えないが、仕方ない。やってくれたな、クソガキ。もちろん死ぬ覚悟はできてるだろうな。
Alright, Dad, come on!
遺言はなしってことだな。
なら死ね。
Four short, muffled gunshots resound. White smoke rises, I smell the scent of gunpowder. Fresh blood drips and creates a pool on the pavement. All four men have bullets put through their hands. Without a moment delay, they each pull out knives with their unwounded hands. Huh! But I'm already on top of it. I close in on my first target before they have the opportunity to attack. Keeping the momentum going, I drove my fist into the abdomen of the man on my right. Yeah! Right there, we use kicks to my elbow blows to knock out the other two. All four of them now lie on the ground.
動くな。そのまま地面に這いつくばれ。すでに包囲している。もし動けば、次は威嚇では済まないぞ。
Dad scowls at the men in suits as he coldly orders them to surrender. He stays behind the cover, not making the mistake of revealing himself, focused and ready to shoot at a moment's notice. 4 shots were all he fired. He managed to perfectly hit all 4 palms of the men without any misses. Ooh, very good. I know he mentioned that he served in the line of duty before, but I never expected him to be this good. Even though he hasn't seen action in years, his skills haven't rusted a bit. I'll be honest, I underestimated him. The slender guy tries to get up, unwilling to surrender, but not a second later he's suddenly pushed to the ground. It's one of my fellow SFD members with their camouflage uniform.
高額明細だとそんなものを採用している組織聞いたことがないぞどこの人間だ
悪いが質問するのはこっちだお前たちが何者か全て答えてもらうから覚悟しておけ
I'd say they've got a guy named a guy codenamed Mantis who's in the security room right now watching like camera feeds. He'll know what's going on.
マンティス作戦は失敗すぐに撤収を
Dang.
言ったろ包囲したと
Once the guy finally resigns himself to arrest, my invisible colleagues skillfully disarm him. Following that, they searched his collar and neck and find a transmitter in the process. After finally confiscating his phone and wallet, they tie him up.
なんとか間に合ったなよかった
Yeah, that was about as close as you can cut it. Yeah, I'll say I was prepared to die when my cover got blown.
遅くなって本当に悪かった敷地の外の連中の特定に手間を食った
It's fine. I didn't get hurt, so you guys get the rest of them?
もちろん狙い通りに一網打尽だ危険にさらして悪かった間に合って本当に良かった
The nice thing is with so many of them, there's a good chance we can get at least one of them to crack. As long as the mission was successful.
レビー6怪我は
No, I forgot to ask, but is Mitsukaze-san alright?
そっちはレビー3がちゃんと守っている問題はない
マクレガーよりアレイスター1へ作戦は成功です全員を捕らえました
Yes.
アレイスター1了解撤収の準備を始めろこちらもすぐに合流する
Not everything went entirely as planned, but it seems the operation was a success.
後始末は任せてお前は早くプールに戻れ怪しまれるぞ
Roger that. I'll leave the rest to you and the rest of the team.
あ
Alright, see you.
レビー6
Yeah?
任務ご苦労だったな
Aw, thanks, Dad. Thanks.
あ、おかえりなさい先輩。
Thanks.
遅いよサトル。休憩長すぎ。
Sorry about that. Everything still going alright here?
特には何も。お客さんも大満足って感じだよ。順番決めて他のみんなも休憩しないか？そうだね。そうしよう。ああ、私はもう少し後でいいですから、お先にどうぞ。
I'm gonna get back to work. I leave the group to find Nanami.
お兄ちゃん、よかった。本当によかった。
Yeah, it must have kind of sucked knowing like what was going down essentially, but not being able to know anything about it. Sorry for worrying you.
怪我は？
No, thankfully Dad came in and saved my behind.
お父さんに？
Yep, you should have seen him. Like, I had no idea he was so good.
何それ？すごく気になるんだけど。
Later, I gotta report to Mitsukaze-san first. I walked past Nanami and entered the storage room where we've been keeping our drinks.
有原くん。
Sorry it took so long. But good news, the operation was a success. We caught all of them.
それはいいんだけど、有原くんは怪我とかしなかった？
Aw, you care? That's so sweet. Thanks, I'm alright. Not even a scratch.
そう、よかった。ずっと心配してたからかな。なんか一気に疲れが。
Well, we can't relax just yet. We still got a little bit longer to go before the fair ends. And you've got your song to end to do, and at the end to do too, don't you?
嫌なことを思い出させないでよ。
Sorry, you probably actually should go see that interview now, or else you could get in trouble. I'll be out in the audience cheering you on.
ほんと、余計な一言が多いんだから。
16時になりました。これにて声優発表祭を閉幕いたします。
I hear a lot of applause in the distance. The fair thus has concluded peacefully, and nobody will ever have to know what took place behind the curtains. It was quite the ordeal, but in the end, our efforts were rewarded. The men we've taken into custody won't be handed over to the police. They're now going to undergo thorough interrogation from the SFD. It'll be more than difficult for them to hide things around this time around, especially since we caught the entire group, not just one or two. But I'll let Dad handle all that stuff. My mission is done. Today was a great day. Our cafe was a smashing success. We also caught the people who have been after Mitsukaze-san. A double victory. I couldn't think of a more satisfying way to close out the expo fair. A few days later, early in the morning before class, I received a briefing on the events from several days prior.
声優発表祭ではご苦労だった。お前のおかげで被害も影響範囲も最小限に留めることができた。三笠綾瀬も無傷。改めてよくやったな。レビー6。
Thank you. So, did you learn anything about the perpetrators?
分かったような分からんような。
That's not much of an answer.
さすがにそうあっさりと情報を提供してくれない。
Fair. Yeah, I guess they're not amateurs. But why would they want Mitsukaze-san to begin with?
そこら辺の事情についてはまだ調査中だが、まず相手の組織については分かった。
Ah, good. This is what I was really curious about. Who are they? What he told me was very alarming information. We're dealing with a secret organization of intelligence bureaus that deal in matters concerning Astrals. Oh, okay, so it's secret organization intelligence bureau, so like in our own country? Furthermore, they're an extremist faction that advocates for regulation of Astrals and astral technology. When living in a city like this, it's easy to forget just how rampant discrimination against Astrals in the country this is. Also, apparently they wanted to use Mitsukaze-san as some sort of propaganda to gain widespread support for their policies. I mean, I fully understand what a criminal can do when they have astral abilities, so I'm aware that these negative biases against our kind won't vanish overnight, but that still doesn't mean we can turn a blind eye to these underhanded tactics.
少なくとも三笠綾瀬の襲撃に関しての任務はすでに破棄された。
Oh, that's a relief. That's something. Thanks.
そういうわけだ。彼女の護衛に関しては任務を終了する。
Understood.
本当にお疲れだったな、サトル。
Thank you.
とはいえ、襲撃が終わっても潜入任務は続行だ。お前はしっかり勉強して卒業を目指せよ。
Yes, sir. All right.
何かあればまた連絡する。だが、しばらくその予定はないから安心して休め。
Okay, thank you. I ended the call, then sit down on my bed. If we've dealt a crippling blow to our enemies, it should be safe to conclude that Mitsukaze-san isn't under a threat of being attacked anymore. There's also the case of the missing Astrals, which is probably tied to this incident in some way, but I'll let Dad take care of that stuff. I wonder if that's a plot line we're not even going to follow anymore. Like maybe that's tied directly to like the Ayase path, which I'm not sure, but I'm guessing I'm not going down. I have no idea. So yeah, we've arrested the people who were after you.
So, わかった。
It's lunch break. I'm giving Mitsukaze-san a brief summary of the report, omitting certain details, of course.
じゃあ、今後私が狙われることは基本的にない。ということでいいの？
I'm personally, I'm like, I think she should always be on guard, because just because they're giving up now doesn't mean they're not going to try again later. Sure.
よかった。
She heaves a huge sigh of relief.
頭では有原くんが守ってくれてるって分かってはいても、やっぱり心配だったから。
Yeah, I bet.
ようやくこれで一息つけるのかな。
Yeah, finally.
じゃあ、有原くんの護衛もこれで終わりなんだ。
Yeah, but we're still friends, right? Yeah. I've been officially relieved of it. Still, I'll help if you're ever in danger again. Feel free to tell me if you ever need anything.
ありがとう。そうする。
Alright, I'll see you later. With my business taken care of, I should get something to eat.
あ、待って。
Yeah?
有原くんはこれからどうするの？
Go to the canteens and get lunch. Why do you ask?
そういうことじゃなく。
I don't, actually.
だって、有原くんがこの学院に来たのは、私の護衛をするためなんだよね。その任務はもう達成したわけでしょ？
Oh, so that's what she was wondering about. Don't worry, both me and Nanami are staying till graduation.
そう。 別に心配なんてしてないけど。
Oh, hello, Miss Tsundere. Also, even if I were to run off somewhere, I wouldn't tell anyone about your pads, so you don't have to worry about that either.
ありがとう、有原くん。もし去り際に誰かに漏らすような真似したら、地の果てまで追いかけていって潰すからね。
Yeah, I'm sure. The expo fair is over, as well as my mission to protect Mitsukasa-san. The only real task at hand is my spy mission, which is essentially nothing, but living a normal life as a student here. Guess I gotta study hard and make it to graduation, like Dad asked. My life has always been rather work-focused up to this point, so it's a little hard to adjust to something different. Sure, I learned a lot about astral abilities, but other than that, most of the material I'm being taught here probably won't help me in my line of work. So should I really just be kicking it back and taking it easy right now?
なんだ、有原くんか。
Hey, Hazuki. As I'm walking through the hallway, lost in thought, I stumble across Nijoan-san.
どうしたんだ？
Just got through talking with Mitsukasa-san. What about you?
私はこれから食堂だ。有原くんはもう食事は済ませたのか？
No, actually.
そうか。それなら一緒にどうだ？
Absolutely. It's been about 20 minutes since lunch break started, and I have no one else to eat with, so why not? Sure.
そうか。ならとっておきの場所に案内しようじゃないか。
Ooh. Sounds exciting. Yeah, so did I get the Hazuki route? I'm guessing so. Or maybe, I don't know. Like, at the same time, like, I've been able to spend, like, one-on-one time with, like, everybody, so I have no idea if the route's been selected yet. I follow her to the canteen of our first dormitory. Looking around, I see the place is mostly filled with faculty and researchers instead of students.
お、有原くんは鴨せいろを選んだか。なかなかに通だな。
Your Tenzaru soba looks pretty good too.
そう。ここは渋いラインナップが多いんだ。だから学生より大人に人気があるんだ。
Sounds lovely, actually. Sounds refreshing. She has a point. The food here seems to favor quality over quantity. I can certainly see why older folks would like this. You don't think about it really, but we students aren't the only ones who eat lunch here. The canteens are open to faculty and researchers as well.
警備員の皆さんとはここでよく話をするんだ。
Oh, is that how you got into helping them with their patrols?
任されたというより話を聞いて私の方から協力を申し出たという感じだがな。
Aww.
とにかく食べよう。いただきます。
Itadakimasu. I pinch one of the noodles soaked in the hot savory soup with my chopsticks and bring it to my mouth. The taste of the duck is strong, but not overbearing. It's just right. Whoa, this is pretty good.
そうだろう。ここは私のお気に入りなんだ。
But don't you usually go to the dorm forest canteen?
それは私だって一応女子だからな。親父臭い趣味だと思われたら嫌だし、いつもはみんなに合わせているんだ。
Oh, Hazuki, you and I both, we overthink about everyone's thinking. I guarantee you no one would care, but yet, of course you won't believe me because I wouldn't believe me.
一人で食べるときはいつもこっちに来るんだぞ。
Oh, really? So I take it you like Japanese food?
ああ、別に洋食も中華も嫌いではないが、一番はやっぱり和食だな。やはり日本人は醤油に味噌、そばやうどん、白いご飯、これが最高なんだ。
The fervor in her explanation makes me chuckle a little.
なぜ笑う？私の言ってることはおかしいか？
Oh no, I just thought it was a little funny because it's such a you thing to say.
なんだかバカにされているような。
Only a little. I'm not, I swear. Just think the whole traditional look fits you perfectly.
そうか。そうだと嬉しいな。
She eats her sauce-coated tempura shrimp gracefully. I have to say, that looks pretty good too.
あ、そうだ。有原くんは今度の休み、何か予定はあるか？
No, not really. I don't have a bodyguard Mitsukasa-san anymore, so quite frankly, I don't know what to do with my free time.
そうか。
Do you have anything planned?
いやな、もし有原くんさえ良ければ、私と付き合ってほしいんだ。
Wait, what? Huh?
間違えた。
She's visibly flustered.
違うんだ。付き合ってというのは恋人になってほしいとかそういうやましい意味じゃなく。
Okay.
もし暇なら私の用事に付き合ってほしいという意味だ。
What kind of shopping?
来週お父様の誕生日なんだ。だから プレゼントを贈ろうと思っている。
Okay, that does make some sense.
今まではお母様に聞いて選んでいたが、今年はもう少し気の利いたことをしてみたくてな。ただ一人で選ぶのは自信がなくて、男性の助言が得られればと思っていたんだ。
I mean, everyone's different enough. I don't know if I'll be super helpful, but you know what? Of course I'll help. So she wants my advice on what to give her dad for his birthday.
ただ私と出かけることで有原くんに迷惑をかけたくない。もし恋人や意中の女性がいるなら遠慮なく断ってほしい。
Jumping to conclusions much, aren't you? I don't have anyone like that, sadly enough.
いないのか？私はてっきり式部先輩あたりといい仲になっているんだろうと思っていたのだが。
Interesting. I wonder why. Oh, that's right. She did walk in on us that one time. I almost forgot that.
だって前に先輩とカレンチなことしてたし。
We weren't. I told you that's not what we were doing.
それならいいんだ。でも嫌なら断ってくれていいぞ。これは私の一方的なわがままだからな。
Trust me, I literally had nothing else going on. Oh no, I don't mind that one bit. Thought I'd just be sitting bored in my room all weekend, so I'd be glad to go with you.
そうか。ありがとう、有原くん。
Wow, you really were hoping I'd say yes, apparently. She smiles from ear to ear.
じゃあ今週の土曜日よろしく頼む。
Oh yeah.
あ、外出届は忘れずに提出しておくんだぞ。
Even when she's just talking with a friend, she doesn't forget her duties as a dorm manager. It's gotta be a knee-jerk reaction, though.
リドルジョーカー。
Yeah, we'll go a little longer. We probably won't be able to go through the entire day with her, but we'll see. Saturday comes, I ride the light rail to the shopping mall with Nijon-san.
何がいいかな。
Our local shopping mall is multi-floored. We've been checking the shops and the floors dedicated to men's stuff, but so far I still haven't found anything. What about a tie, a necktie, a handkerchief? Can't go wrong with those.
ああ、そうだな。だがネクタイ、万年筆、ハンカチは以前に送ったことがあるんだ。
Right, they're pretty safe bets.
私が3年前に送ったネクタイは今でも愛用してくれているし、去年送った万年筆はいつも持ち歩いているらしい。
Aww, that's cute. Wow, he must really love his daughter. So I guess that means we're gonna have to think a little outside the box.
だから困っているんだ。また同じでは芸がないし、どうしたものか。
So we'll probably want to go with something practical or something that'll surprise him. I mean, he's gotta have hobbies, right? Like, why don't we try leaning into that? What does your dad do for a living anyway?
警察官だ。
Oh, cool.
おじいさまも警察官だった。うちは代々続く警察一家なんだ。
Now that you mention it, I think Kyohei mentioned that to me once. Something about an honorable and ancient lineage, if I recall. Must be what he was referring to.
別に言いふらしたつもりはないのだが、知らないうちに広まってしまってな。一部の人間には怖がられたりしているよ。
Really?
別に警察官の娘だからって私に逮捕権はないし、お父様に告げ口をしてどうこうするなどできるわけがないというのに。
Right. Well, people do say the police and their families get special treatment. If anything happened, it'd be easy to cover up.
バカな！私もお父様もそんな下劣な真似は断じてしない。
That's what I was thinking. I was like, dude, even if that's true, you don't just say that.
もみ消しなどしようものなら、私がそれを世間に公表してやる。ふんす。
So she talks about her dad being a police officer. How much you want to bet that he's actually like a chief of police somewhere? Like, he's not just an officer. He's like one of the biggest and most like influential police like officials in the country. That just seems like what it would be, and maybe that would explain better than just a lineage of why people like are afraid of her and her family. It's like there's not just an officer. Like, he's like a top dog. Okay, I get it. Calm down. We've attracted quite a few stares.
すまない。つい興奮してしまった。私欲に目のくらんだ一部の心ない連中のせいで警察全体が貶められる。そういう輩が許せなくてな。
I get it, man. I get it. It sucks when, like, the few officers who are bad eggs ruin the reputation for all the good ones. I guess it happens to in a lot of professions. You always get a few bad apples in any group of people.
それよりプレゼントだ。何を送ればお父様は喜んでくれるだろうか。
Again, I say hobbies, but if we're gonna stick with his job, I don't know. If he drives around a police cruiser a lot, maybe something he can put in his cruiser that he might enjoy, something he could look at. So I have a bit of an idea. Workplaces usually have a bunch of dumb rules about what you can have on you, and what you can wear and so on. So he probably doesn't need anything to use at work. So why not give him something he can use when he's off the clock?
プライベート？
You know, like nail clippers or a coin case.
なるほど。そういう発想はなかったな。
How boring a gift is nail clippers, though. I can see a twinkle in her eyes.
よし、その線でもう一度フロアを回ってみよう。
Alright, what are we gonna go with?
いやー、いいものが見つかってよかった。
What do we get? What do we get? After looking around again, she finally found a leather coin case and settled on that. Did my suggestion help any?
もちろんだ。これだというものが見つかったのも有原くんがアイディアを出してくれたおかげだ。
Glad to be of service.
改めて礼を言う。ありがとうな、有原くん。
Don't sweat it. She looks awfully cute when she smiles like that. Man, this is kind of weird.
そうだ。何か食べたいものはないか？礼も兼ねて私に何かおごらせてくれ。
She seriously is super cute. I don't care what any of you say. Like, I really think she's best girl. I think Ayase is the most interesting girl. Hazuki is best girl. Nanami is best sister. She's very adorable. If she weren't a sister character, I'd probably be very interested in pursuing her route, but she's a sister, so she's off limits. And then Mayu is interesting. I don't think she'd be the one who would never get boring. every conversation with her would be a trip. But yeah, I think Hazuki or Ayase would be my top picks. Thanks, but I'm fine. The sentiment's more than enough.
そんなことを言わないでくれ。感謝はその時に形にしなければすぐに消えてしまうものだ。
It seems like that sounds like an old saying or something.
それとも私を礼儀知らずな女にしたいのか？
Can you be ill-mannered and crude? I almost would want to see that. Her defiant smile says it all. She doesn't take it without giving, so saying no to her would bring her shame. You and your manners.
そういう性分なんだ。諦めて何か礼をさせてほしい。
It's in my nature too. Hazuki and I are spiritually very similar beings. Sure, I'll think about what I want while we walk. With that, we march towards the floor where the food court is located. What's wrong?
いや、なんでもないんだ。行こうか。
For a moment, something seems to have caught her attention. Looking in that direction, I see what exactly it was. What the heck is that? It looked like a weird fish with popping eyes wearing a traditional hamaka. It even has what I assumed is a toy katana by its hip. Pretty bizarre. Yeah, that does sound really weird.
知らないのか？あれは千布之助という鷲津氏のイメージキャラクターだ。
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's one of those. Okay.
鷲津は学院があることで有名だが、沖合で黒鯛が取れることでも有名なんだ。その黒鯛を侍にしたのが千布之助なんだ。
Okay. She picks up the fish plush from the stand and keeps rambling.
千布之助は忠義の師でな。
Mascots, man.
贅沢三昧の主君を止めるため自ら犠牲になり、美味しい刺身となって主君を戒めたという伝説があるのだ。
It actually has a legend?
いや、もちろん設定だぞ。
Wait, did you make that up? Impressive.
しかしその忠義、学ぶべきところがあると思わないか？
Yeah, I guess. You see a lot in the historical plays, I guess. It's a pretty common theme in samurai plays about loyalty and Bushido. The 47 Ronin, for example, is a pretty popular one. Though this is the first time I've heard of a samurai cutting himself into sashimi to protect his honor. it's like super oh, what is it? It's the, gosh darn it, I know seppuku It's like super seppuku.
身を粉にして市民のために働き、いざとなれば武器を手に悪と戦う。
I mean, that's the dramatic version of samurai. Like, the real historical version of samurai was more like, I don't know, like liege knights from like medieval like Europe. And a lot of them were not below doing dirty work on behalf of their lord. But the traditions are fantastic. It's like, samurai as a pure warrior caste were very much just normal people. Like, I think they can get over embellished and over dramatized because history, you know, puts lenses and stuff, and especially with a culture that's so focused on like ancestors and like heritage, you'd always want to make sure your ancestry sounded great. So like, if you had a samurai in your past, even if they A, didn't do anything, or B, you know, we're just normal people, you'd want to embellish them with all these traits that became very popular, from what I understand, during the more peaceful times, when samurai who had no real wars to fight, maybe occasional skirmishes between daimos or anything like that, they had to have an honor. They adopted the honorific code of Bushido as a way to kind of preserve some traditional values and to try and encourage good mannerisms and morals, and to dissuade from the mercenary-esque vibe, because like, it was in the best interest of the established power to not have a bunch of mercenaries who were very skillful warriors running amok. So it made a lot of sense to help encourage this sense of loyalty and the sense of duty being like the premier like focus of a mighty warrior, and that you bring yourself shame by not having these values. But it also is just a very good thing in general, because again, like, mercenary work is kind of degrading work, because you're being told to do the stuff no one wants you to do. So being able to have this kind of honorable warrior like guys, even if it's just a persona during peacetime, is a very powerful tool.
警察官とはまさに現代の侍だと思うんだがどうか。
Yeah. I guess.
というわけで、私は千之助の忠義には親近感があるんだ。
There, that'll make a good thumbnail.
それに見た目も可愛いしな。
He is pretty cute, I guess. I eye him appraisingly.
あ、なんだその微妙なものを見るような顔つきは。可愛いじゃないか。
It's a fish though.
何を言っているんだ。魚は基本的に可愛いだろう。
Not all fish. There are a lot of fish that aren't. Most things that live at the bottom of the ocean, not cute. I'd say a flounder isn't very cute, but I agree that a lot of fish are cute. But their eyes are all big and beady. It's kind of creepy.
なんだと？ならば、1時間くらい金魚を鑑賞するのが趣味だった私は異端児なのか？
No, I didn't even know you had a goldfish. And I can't be one to talk. I like snakes. A lot of people think it's really weird how much I enjoy. I think they're really cute, but I think they're freaking adorable. Well, it's definitely not normal.
まあいい。ならばこれから千之助の素晴らしさを分かってもらえばいいだけのこと。
I can't decide which slide I like the most, but this one might be the best one. Look at those sparkles in her eyes.
有原くんにはこのぬいぐるみを送ることにしよう。
After saying that, she hands me a fairly large plushie. That's way too big for me.
遠慮しないでくれ。むしろこれは私が送りたいのだ。
You will accept my opinion. That'll look a little tacky in my room.
シュールじゃない。これは可愛い。
Okay. Well, I got her upset now.
でも確かにいい年をした男子がぬいぐるみをめでていたら恥ずかしいかもしれないな。贈り物は相手のことも考えないと迷惑にしかならないか。
Yeah, I agree.
ならば今回はこのキーホルダーで我慢しておこう。
Thanks, I guess. I'm getting the fish either way, it seems. I'm getting the fish. Man, this is pretty good. We found a nice shop near the entrance of the mall and I got a chocolate banana crepe. Every bite just melts in my mouth. It's honestly really delicious.
本当にクレープでいいのか？カツ丼とかカレーライスとか有原くんが食べたいものでよかったんだぞ。
Nah, I'm good. I just gave her a bit of advice, that's all. I feel bad for taking anything more.
すまなかったな、有原くん。
Why? For what?
私はあまり人に気を使えるタイプの人間ではない。有原くんを退屈させてしまったんじゃないかと思って。
I mean, maybe the fish was a bit much, but other than that, it was fine. Wasn't bored at all. I had fun. Plus, I got to learn more about you.
私のこと。
You know, the whole thing with the Chinosuke.
あれはもともと私は時代劇が好きだから。
He's a bit tacky, though.
シュールじゃない。
She remained stubborn about that. I remember we talked about historical plays and whatnot before, but I don't think you ever told me how you got into them in the first place.
それは間違いなくお父様の影響だ。
I figured.
お父様は大の時代劇ファンで、鬼金犯科帳も荒くれ大将軍も元は全部お父様のコレクションなんだ。
I like the idea of the Oni Detective Crime Files. It kind of reminds me of the Dresden Files. So you used to watch them with him and grew to love them yourself?
その通りだ。
So our father's a police officer. He's also a big fan of historical plays. Sounds about right. It reminds me of me and a little bit with Star Trek. My dad loved Star Trek, and so we would have it on pretty often while I was growing up. Like even when I was really young, and I couldn't really follow the plot line. But I think it was kind of some of the inspiration for why I currently love sci-fi as a genre so much, just because of the creativity and the imagination that was used in those series. I also watched Star Wars too, but now that I've got as I got older, I found that while Star Wars was really fun for just just being fun, and when it came to really interesting concepts, philosophies, and impactful stories, Star Trek really was better. Sadly, modern Star Trek has just kind of transitioned into other Star Wars, which is fine. You know, it's entertaining, but it definitely has really lost the spark of what made Star Trek special.
鬼金も荒くれ大将軍も悪人をバッサバッサとやっつける話がほとんどだろ。子供心に痛く感動してな、すぐ好きになってしまった。
Aww.
あの頃の私は警察官に憧れていたからな。
I'm not surprised. Do you not want to anymore?
私はアストラル能力者で、しかも女性だ。
Both of those should not be hindering you.
警察はあれでお堅い組織だから、果たして私のようなものが認めてもらえるかどうか。
That's true, I suppose.
かなり厳しいぞとお父様も言っていた。
I actually have heard stories about how difficult it is to be hired as a police officer if you're an Astral. Police have authority to arrest people, so having what is essentially a superpower on top of that complicates things. Just imagine what a corrupt officer could do if they had an astral ability. We even covered this at the very, very beginning, right? We coordinated secretly with the police because working with the police directly was complicated. It added a lot of legal implications and issues.
それに私はお父様のように立派な人間ではないからな。
It's interesting because so she sees herself and idolizes samurai. And we are very similar in what she idolizes, but we're more along the lines of what the ninja is, the idea of a secretive operative, somebody who works on behalf of the common good, or at least the perceived common good of whoever hired you or whatever. But a ninja does it from the shadows and without a ton of honorable preconceived notions. So it's she's the samurai and I'm the ninja. Don't put yourself down like that. I think you have everything it takes.
ありがとう。しかしお父様は私なんか足元にも及ばないほど立派なんだぞ。何しろ警視官だ。警視総監の次に偉いんだからな。
That's what I thought. He definitely is higher up there. Whoa, that's amazing.
私がお父様を超えるなんて土台無理だし、今は警察官に固執していない。ただ、お父様の名を汚さないよう、世のため人のためになる仕事がしたいとは思っている。
That's cute. Positive difference in the world. Wonder if the work I do qualifies as that in a way. You really are such an honest and upright person. I guess your dad must have been a huge influence on you.
もちろん、お父様の影響もあると思うが、もっと影響を受けた人物がいるぞ。
Chinosuke? Who would that be?
前にも話しただろう。白馬の将軍様だ。
Wait, what? Oh, I remember now. The person she's talking about? Yeah, it's probably me.
あの子は私と同い年ぐらいなのに。
Oh, right! I totally spaced
果敢
that.
に悪へと立ち向かう姿勢を見せてくれた。
Yeah. Oh, that's gonna be awkward to explain.
あれには本当に感動した。きっと今頃彼はさぞや立派で 素晴らしい人間になっているに違いない。
Oh gosh, I think you're giving him a bit too much credit. That's coming from the man himself.
天気がいい日は白馬に乗って砂浜を駆け回ったりしているんだろうな。
Oh, okay. Highly unlikely. I think you've just been watching too many of those shows.
夢を見るくらいはいいだろ。
Dreams of what exactly?
有原くんだって荒くれ大将軍を見れば私が言っていることを理解してくれるはずだ。
Show it to me then. Seriously, it's one of the best things to do. The idea, like, if you're like interested in somebody and they talk passionately about something they like especially when it's something easy like a TV show, and you don't know anything about it, or even if you do, you could pretend and just say like, I've never seen that before. Would you like to show it to me? It's like you get an instant date with them, because how many people are going to turn down the opportunity to share something they love with somebody else, even if like they just see it as a platonic friendship at that point. But like, not to say you should force friendships into relationships. That's a terrible idea. But I'm saying it's a good way to like break that ice of initially like having a first effective date. Doesn't the lead actor of that show appear in the Tokugawa records too?
見たことがあるのか？
Nah, I'm just familiar with the name.
ならば DVD を貸そう。傑作選の DVD ボックスが部屋にあるんだ。ぜひ見てくれ。
See? You should be like, sounds like fun actually. Let's watch it together. Okay, but you don't have to get me in get in my face though. She apparently didn't even notice.
すまない。つい興奮してしまった。無理強いするものではないか。
Come on, man, you gotta watch it with her. That'd be so fun. Especially watching her, she'd be like squeeing the whole time.
ただ、私の唯一と言ってもいい趣味だから、有原くんに理解してもらえたら嬉しいなと思って。
Trust me, this is the way to get to a geek's heart. Just show a modicum of interest and a willingness to learn about something that they're passionate about. It will melt them.
って何を言っているんだ私は。今のは聞かなかったことにしてくれ。
What the heck. If it means that much to her, I guess it wouldn't hurt watching some new stuff. Nijo-san? Oh, that was cute. Would you be willing to lend me some of your DVDs?
本当か？私に気を使って無理をしてないか？
I'm genuinely interested. May not know what her fascination with them is, but I am curious to know. Maybe I'll end up seeing what's so great about them if I just give them a try. That's the right attitude.
そうか。わかった。とっておきのやつを用意しておくからな。
Now you should watch it with her. The smile on her face is pure and honest.
いやー、今日は楽しかった。
Oh yeah, me too. We're on our way back home. She still seems to be in high spirits.
長時間付き合わせてしまって悪かったな。
Nah, it's all good. I had plenty of fun too.
最初は少し不安だったんだ。有原くんと話が合うのかどうかとか、他にも誰か連れて行った方がいいんじゃないかとか。
I think you just worry too much. Isn't it usually the man who worries about these types of things when going out somewhere with a girl?
いや、それは違うぞ。昨今、男女平等などと言いながら、自分の都合のいい権利ばかり主張する輩が実に多い。
She's a believer in true gender equality. Yes!
平等を目指すなら、今まで男性だけが背負ってきた辛いこと、苦しいことも背負う覚悟がなければならないはずだ。
I knew I liked you, Azuki!
女性特有の恩恵に預かったまま、男性の恩恵も得ようだなんて、私はそんな浅ましい人間にはなりたくないんだ。
Seriously, that was the most beautiful thing you've ever said. She's really staunch when it comes to her values.
すまない。ちょっとここで待っていてくれないか？
What? Here? As in, right here. We're in the middle of a sidewalk. However, she's fidgeting around and looks rather restless for some reason.
あ、いや、駅まで行ってもいいんだが、急に行きたくなってしまって。
Oh, yeah, no, I can wait. Go where?
大きな
Come on,
声では。
read the room! It's not that hard! Oh, you need to use the restroom. There's a coffee shop nearby, so I'll wait over there. Alright, I'll wait over there while you go.
バカ！そういうことは声高に言うものじゃないぞ！もう少しデリカシーを考えてだな。
I guess I should say the girls' room instead of the bathroom?
そうだな。
Sorry about that, Nijo-san.
あ、別に怒っているわけじゃないんだ。ただ、なんだ。
Yeah, I'll try to think before I speak in the future. I'm guessing that's what you want to say?
まあそうだな。ところで、
Thanks for forgiving me.
いや、その、有原くん、私は別に気にしてないから、その。
You're too kind. Look, you could admit it. I know I said something insensitive.
いや、それほどでもないんだが、しかしそろそろ
She's like, I gotta
の
go!
限界が。
Oh, sorry, go to the bathroom then.
トイレって言うな
She rushes into the coffee shop, her face bright red. Man, I screwed up big time. Totally embarrassed her. Seriously, I need to get better about what I say around women. Nanami got on my case but not too long ago for that, as a matter of fact. Ah, there you are.
サトルくん、どうしたの？
It was after school. I just bumped into her at the dorm lobby. I happened to find a little something while I was sorting through our old movie boxes. Is this yours? After making sure the coast is clear, I show her a piece of dainty fabric. Oh gosh! Must have gotten mixed in with my stuff when we were packing. I figured you might be needing it, so I wanted to give it back to you as soon as possible. The fabric in question was a pair of panties, light pink with white stripes.
バカー！どうしてお兄ちゃん、もっと気の利いた返し方してくれないの？
I mean, we're the only two here right now. I made sure to check.
そうじゃなくて、お兄ちゃんから直接手渡しされたら恥ずかしいの、私が。
Sorry, next time I'll bring it in an unmarked envelope. Then what do you want me to do?
それは、その、私の知らないうちにこっそり部屋に返しておくとか。
You want me to break into your room?
そうじゃなくても、こう、見えないように紙袋に入れるとか。
Yeah, I guess I could have.
お兄ちゃん、もう少し女の子に気を使った方がいいよ。
I'm sorry, I was trying to help.
そんなことじゃ、好きな女の子に嫌われちゃうんだから。
I don't have a crush or anything like that.
今はいなくても、これからできるかもしれないでしょ？とにかく、お兄ちゃんは女の子の扱い方がなってない。もうちょっと勉強しなさい。
Go study some more. How? You don't study girls, you just interact with them. She was absolutely right. Back when I was at Furon, I didn't have time for girls. And after Dad took me in, my life was nothing but work. That's all I ever worried about. However, now part of my mission is to live as a normal school student. Once it's over, though, I'll have to say goodbye to this life. What point would there even be in me trying to learn how to act around girls so I can get chummy with them and get a girlfriend? Do I stand to gain anything from that? I honestly don't feel like I do. But whenever I look at Nijon-san, I feel something fuzzy welling up inside me. Oh, so we must be on her path. We must, yes! She's a very straightforward person. I have no doubt that she owes it to her parents. It's really rare to find an Astral that's so determined about what they want to do and how they want to live their life despite society's fear of us. To me, she shines like a beacon of hope. I don't know what it is, but I just kind of want her to like me. And I'll need to take Nanami's word to heart if I want to avoid upsetting her. Tact, huh? I think I'll try to reform myself a little. While musing to myself, I consider to wait outside the coffee shop. What the fetch? Well, suddenly I hear a high-pitched scream from inside the store. What happened? All the customers inside are likewise startled by the shriek. It seems to have come from the bathroom. Right as I'm about to run inside, I see Nijon-san open the bathroom door and rush out. She comes my way looking as grim as a grave. What? Are you okay? She's soaking wet to the point where you think someone had dumped a bucket of water over her head. What were you doing in there?
洗面台で手を洗っていたら、いきなり蛇口が弾け飛んで、水がドバーって出てきたんだ。
Really? Seriously? That's crazy.
そうだ、蛇口をひねろうとしたらいきなり根元がバンって弾けたんだ。施工不良じゃないのか？
Either that or you're a gorilla. The coffee shop doesn't look that old, so I doubt it's some sort of hardware defect. Maybe you used your ability without realizing? She can manipulate water, so perhaps that caused it?
使ってない！私は無実だ！
But I didn't just break, it literally flew off from the base, right? That doesn't sound like any normal malfunction.
確かに、言われてみればそうだな。
What the heck happened in there?
服が冷たい。
Can you evaporate the water?
できなくはないと思うが、街中で能力は使いたくないんだ。
Her abilities do have a wide area of effect. If she isn't careful, there could be unforeseen consequences.
楽しい一日だったのに、 最後は散々だよ。
Aww. Let's just get you out of here before you catch a cold.
そうだな。
It's definitely not normal for a faucet to just pop off like that with such force. Whatever the case, there's a good chance her astral ability played some part in it. If so, I should report this to Dad. Okay, yeah, so like,
Riddle Joker.
it's got the picture of Hazuki there, so I'm guessing that's like the route I'm on officially. Alright, well, this is a good place for us to end, so let's go ahead and stop here. Well, I'm pretty sure that we're on the Nijo-san route, so Hazuki, good. She was the one I was hoping for, if it wasn't blatantly obvious, but like I said, I would have been happy with Ayase, I would have even stayed with Mayu, I would have been able to deal with Nanami if I just personally mentally ignored the fact that they're technically siblings, but I'm excited to see all the routes on my own. That's the thing. Remember, on this channel, I do a one route playthrough where I only showcase one part of it. That way, it leaves some mystery for people who are interested in the game. So in case you're watching this, you haven't bought it for yourself and you're interested in seeing what the other routes are, you should be able to have that exploration on your own. But I do plan to cover it on my own independently, and then when we do the wrap party at the end of the series, I'll kind of talk about my feelings about all the different characters. So yeah, we'll get there when we get there. But yeah, this is a fantastic start to the story. I'm curious to see, like, so it sounds like her, like the complex situation we're gonna be dealing with her, at least partially, might be her ability, like, going haywire, or some other mystery that's going on around her. We'll have to see how this all plays out, but I'm excited to see how it all goes. I think it'll be really fun. It was very sweet. This story was very exciting to kind of see it play through with our whole plan with like the weird, crazy kidnapping guys, and now with our fun little day trip to the ball with Hazuki, which was just lovely. So I'm very excited to be able to do this. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm a little tired if you haven't noticed. I'm sorry. I definitely fumbled some of the words today, but you know, it happens. It's been a rough week. I've got a lot to do, so I gotta get to work and I'm gonna get back into all things, but I appreciate you spending your time here. It means the world to me, and it really helps with the channel, with growth and just making an impression and just helping spread the word about the fun stories we get to cover together. Especially thank you to the patrons. You guys are amazing. You guys are helping me be able to cultivate a greater sense of completeness with the channel, and I've got some interesting projects and artwork for the custom artwork for the channel in the pipeline coming down, so I'm really excited to be able to share that with you all. So thank you especially to the patrons for making that possible. I hope you guys are having a great rest of your day and a great rest of your month. I mean, lots of crazy, not so fun stuff's happening in the world, but I hope together we can have some fun and like kind of an uplifting experience, you know, being ourselves and sharing in these great stories. So take care of yourselves. Hope you have a great time, and until the next video watching me up, see me next. I'll see you there.